Hi, it's Maya here, and today I'm going to talk about a fantasy novella that I recently read and very much enjoyed, and that is The Four Profound Weaves by R.B. Lemberg. In this beautifully written desert fantasy, two trans elders go on a quest. There's weaving magic, three-dimensional older characters, and bones. This is a high fantasy novella and it comes out on September 1st, and I read a review copy from NetGalley. So we have two main characters. Uisia is from the Surun tribe, and she has been waiting for decades for her aunt Benesret to return and teach her the final weave, how to weave from death. The nameless man Nensasair is from the Kana tribe, where the women are traveling traders and the men stay in the inner quarters of their city as scholars. He is now living in the desert among the Surun tribe because the Kana tribe is very strict about gender, whereas the Surun have men, women and in-betweeners, and transitioning is done with carpets woven from wind. So together these two leave to find the master weaver Benesret and end up on a dangerous quest to challenge a tyrant. I love the magic in this story. You might know that desert fantasy isn't one of my buzzwords, but weaving magic is, and the four profound weaves of the title are wind, sand, song and death. For example, Uisia travels on a floating carpet woven from sand, and assassins use cloth woven from death to conceal themselves. The different sections of the novella were also named after the different weaves, which I really enjoyed, and they were also really beautiful. Those title pages, they had these small spot illustrations. So I found the magic to be very well done. It isn't really explained in detail to a reader, but it feels very coherent and I found it super fascinating. People have deep names, and how many names they have and how many syllables those names have correspond to magical power. Different combinations of syllables are called different things. For example, having two deep names, a one syllable and a three syllable, is something called the weaver's promise. Apart from the weaving magic and having older people as the main characters, what made me request this novel was the pull quote on the cover from Patricia A. McKillip that said, "Imagery that glows on the page." I love McKillip's writing style, so I trusted her words and I was not disappointed. I loved Lemberg's lyrical writing style. It was very atmospheric to read and I loved picking up the book and spending time with it. The world felt full and complete and I really liked the main characters. Apart from the main two, I found Benesret especially to be a really cool figure. Like, welcome, here's my tent surrounded by bones. This novella tackles themes of tradition, change and stagnation. For example, in the city of ER there's this leader, this ruler who hoards magical artifacts and tries to stop change of any kind. The story also focuses on finding out what you want and finding your place in the world. Nensasair wants to find his name and whether he wants to go by Kana tradition and join the men in the inner quarter or do something completely different. Content warnings for this novella for dead naming and misgendering. The author R.B. Lemberg is a queer bigender immigrant from Eastern Europe and Israel, and they have written short stories set in this world before. And the world is called Birdverse, after the goddess bird. I have never read any Birdverse short stories, I hadn't even heard about it before, but I didn't feel like I was missing anything. This novella was really a whole story on its own. It didn't need that background. So you don't need to read those short stories before reading this, but you probably will want to after finishing this, because I know I want to. So The Four Profound Weaves comes out on September 1st from Tachyon, and I gave it 4 stars. It's one of my favorite reads of the year so far, actually. But that's all from me for now. Let me know if you are interested in picking this book up, and I'll see you in my next video.